Hello and welcome to Inspiration right here on television. My name is Felix Dazi. Well, wherever you are, this is where we bring you your weekly dose of inspiration that will set you on fire to do great things for your country and also for mankind. Wherever you're watching us from on television, I want you to head straight to our YouTube channel too. It is INSPIRATION Inspiration, and then you add Felix Dazi, and then you will receive remarkable doses of inspiration that will definitely transform your mindset, will transform everything that has to do with your perspective in life. Well, today I'll be talking to man, a man who has the youth at heart, a man who has leaders at heart and has people at heart in order for them to fulfill their destinies in life. I'll allow him to introduce himself, but first of all, we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guest to you. But I want you to watch this quickly and we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. This is Inspiration.
SR, in terms of Human Development Index, where are we? We are placed under the medium human development category, meaning that out of 189 countries, Ghana is placed under 138 in terms of the League of Nations. What we mean by Human Development Index is that when you put all parameters of development, healthcare, education, social safety net, where do we fall as a country? And according to the UNDP report, we are 138 out of 189 in the League of Nations. Our life expectancy ratio as a country, according to data, stands at 64.17. Comparatively with almighty Norway, they are 82.64, meaning that the average Norwegian dies at the age of 82 thereabout, whilst the average Ghanaian die at the age of 64 averagely.
Welcome back, and that video you saw there was of Frank Kumi from the Pali Ghana talking there or giving a speech there, and he's my guest for today right here on Inspiration, and we're here in his beautiful office and we're about to have an exciting time. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
Good to see you.
It's a pleasure
Right.
and exciting to see you again after
so many years. All right. I love your outfit.
Thank you for
When
the
I grow up, I want to be like.
Thank you so much for your kind compliments.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you for visiting also as well.
You are welcome. And you are doing an amazing work in respect to trainings and leadership mindsets and all that. But we want to find out about what you do and all that. I can see, should I say, placards or posters of what you do. Did I mention the name right? Pali Ghana.
Yes, so we now refer to as Pali Reshape Incorporated.
Okay.
It's a number of organizations.
Organizations, okay.
Exactly. So that's our brand name now.
All right. All right. Let me allow you to introduce yourself because you're the best person to introduce yourself.
Awesome.
And then we take it from there.
Right.
All right.
So, thank you, viewers. Let me say it is a pleasant afternoon.
Okay.
And I'm thrilled and excited to be the guest for this particular edition. My name is Papa Kwabna Kumi Frank. It's a long name. You could just say PK. That's Pakumi for convenience. And I normally say in the public space that I am a disappointed lawyer and a journalist. And the reason being that growing up, I nurtured the ambition to read law.
Okay.
And then also I took inspiration from people like Kwekusi Chiado, so
Okay.
I wanted to also be in the journalism, space.
Okay.
However, I compensate myself with the legal aspect as probably a street lawyer, and then also I have a buffet of lawyers who are associates of myself, and so kind of have a lot of lawyer friends. So
Okay.
and then also sometimes I do moderation in compensation for my inability to have become a proper journalist. I'm, however, a successful leadership practitioner.
Okay.
I also do development consultancy.
Okay.
So, and by and large, over the past 2 decades, my passion has been with the younger generation, to the extent that in my church, when the men's ministry are meeting, I find it difficult identifying with the men's ministry.
Okay.
I want to remain useful,
Useful.
even though, yeah.
Okay.
And so I serve as a youth engagement advisor
Okay.
for Frimpong Manso Institute, and the founding director for
Okay.
Pali Reshape Incorporated,
Okay.
which encompasses the Pali Christian Academy of Development Leadership, and that is preoccupying ourselves with talent development. We believe fundamentally that the 8 billion people on earth, everybody has a certain inherent deposit. And this one, it has nothing to do with schooling. It comes by virtue of the fact that the person is a creation of God. Okay, so that, and then also servant leadership, because we realize that in our environment we have all that it takes, but what is the missing link to the abject poverty and the depravity that we find ourselves? So leadership needs to be fixed well. So that is what the Pali Christian Academy of Development Leadership is preoccupying itself with. And we have the movement to reshape Africa. And we believe that we need a collection of minds who believe in the African rising narrative. There are 2 categories of people I've met. The first category suggests that Africa will be like this. It will be in its shape, its form, dysfunctional institution, deficient public service and goods till end of creation. So
That's what they believe.
That's one group.
Okay.
Then the second group thinks that if we fix the leadership deficit, okay, if we fix the leadership deficit, Africa has what it takes to emerge as a superpower. I mean, history shows that the superpower shifts. Okay, it used to be with Great Britain, it's the British Empire, it's moved to Spain, etc. Now, US claim to be the superpower, but economic terms, China is taking over. So the second category believe that if Africa puts its axes together, probably we might also become a superpower. Okay, so we are with the optimists. Okay, but it doesn't happen by talking.
Okay.
It happened by acting. So our second organization is looking at bringing minds together, Africans in Africa, Africans in diaspora, who think that we can fashion out a certain developmental paradigm and get out of abject poverty. Then the third group, the third organization, is Pan-Africa Center for Transformative Society. That's our think tank.
Okay.
So we also believe that you need to influence policy. Because whatever, if you're an organization, an individual, a business person, and the policy environment is defeating, I mean, whatever you do, I tell people when I'm doing public speaking that, for instance, if I make a silly choice, if I make a blunder, if I make a mistake, immediately my soulmate, my roommate becomes the victim, and then by and large my family. But if people who are in policy making, influencing policy, if they get it wrong, destinies of multiple of people suffer. So this is what I've been preoccupying myself in the past 2 decades. Yeah.
All right. And how has it been? Have you enjoyed it? Has it been rewarding? Has it been challenging? How has it been so far?
Thank you, Phyllis. It's a combination. It's a combination of fulfillment it's a combination of frustration and challenging because of the environment.
Okay.
Okay. And when I say the environment, my mentor, Bishop Bismarck Tudor, used to say that environment dictates behavior.
Environment dictates behavior. Okay.
Sure, yeah. And you one will go, you get to pause a moment and think about this. I mean, what is he saying? But upon a deeper reflection, you realize that it's not only pregnant in meaning, but then it's a reality. Let me give you a quick example. The same Ghanaian who, when is working in the Republic of Ghana, would report late. The average Ghanaian would not be on time to workplace. Let this Ghanaian travel outside to the state or to any of the Western nations. Okay, the work ethics change. The same Ghanaian artisan who will urinate in front of their crown mall, even though there are washrooms in the mall itself. Believe me, when he or she travels, will not do same there.
Okay.
Environment determines behavior. So the Ghanaian and the African environment is a bit hostile to innovations, to things that people are not used to. I remember when I was doing my national service at the Christian Council, I have an HR background from the university, yes. And by default, they were not having an HR person in all this while. So even though I was doing my national service, my director of finance and administration that time, Auntie Diana, gave me a lot of room. So there was a day I had to design a training program, to kind of staff retreat, etc. But there was this woman, young man, how old are you? The council is older than you. I mean, you know, that kind of. So in the African environment, it's hostile.
It's hostile. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's hostile to talents. And so whenever you have an initiative such as we find ourselves handling, you receive a lot of stumbling blocks. Okay. So that is the challenging aspect. The fulfillment aspect has to do with what is it that you were born to do.
What you were born to do.
Yes.
The purpose.
The purpose.
To which you were born. Okay.
Exactly. And that is what connects me to what I'm doing.
Okay.
And I recall I had the privilege to speak to young people. The Church of Pentecost has this youth political chamber.
Okay.
And by privilege, I happen to have been part of the conceptual stage where the whole framework was being developed, and subsequently been part of the resource persons that go to mentor and coach these young people. After a session at their edifice at the PCC,
Pentecost Convention
Center, exactly, a young lady from UCC asked an intelligent question. He said, "Pa, what in your estimation is success? What do you consider
as success?"
As success. I mean, how do you dissect and define success? Then I told her, and by a large extent all the participants, that from where I said, success is sensitive to two parameters or two elements. Element number one is purpose definition. Why am I here on earth? What am I born to fix? Then, number two, how do you derive fulfillment? Or how do you get fulfilled? I made this statement because I have seen what society has packaged to be success. When we see somebody successful, people are looking at a fleet of cars, fleet of houses, the visible, the tangible things the person has done, okay, without interrogating it to see, I mean, how did the person acquire this, okay? And to me, the average Kenyan youth needs to come to terms with what real success is. If you recall in the media not too long ago, young people between 14, 15, 16 in Kaswa killing an advert in the media, that if they should bring,
The head of a
yes, a human, head,
okay.
they could be able to buy Range Rover, etc. For me, it underscores the fact that moral society has not been able to define in rare terms what true success is.
Okay.
So I told the young lady that success has everything to do with purpose. I have an auntie of mine. She rose through the ranks to become a bank manageress those days with commercial bank, and it was not too common for women at that time to find themselves in managerial roles. Okay, yes. She did all that. As we speak now, she's in Canada. She's 80 plus.
Okay.
She can travel. She can go on vacations, etc. But one day she tells me, Kobna, at a point in my life, I think I should have responded to ministry call. Relatively, the woman has houses, cars. She can travel everywhere in the world.
Anywhere she wants to go.
But something is missing, fulfillment. Then our late Jerry John Roy, on the surface value, he's become a president.
The highest position.
Exactly, the highest, put the first gentleman, the highest position. In fact, in our democratic, in our short span as a nation, he's the longest serving head of state. Head of state, yeah, thank you. But interestingly and intriguing, after office, if you're a communicator, if you analyze his utterances, his lamentations, you will see a man who was still not fulfilled. So you ask the question, how challenging and how successful our journey has been. And I'm saying that on the basis of how I perceive success, and those who are in the Christendom, these are yardsticks, like purpose. Jeremiah 1:5 echoes it. That before we're born, our assignments, what we will do, the problem will fix. The problem will fix, etc. We're all predetermined for us. Okay. So if you are successful in quotes in a role that you were not designed to do, then fulfillment will be mixing. Okay. So it's been a challenging journey, but it's been a fulfilling one.
It's been a challenging journey,
yes,
but it's been a fulfilling
one. When we finished public speaking, I recall before the COVID, I was at the College of Education at Brekum, where there was the leadership capacity building conference. And myself, Dr. Kusibuafo, I think he used to be head of public sector reforms. I don't know whether he's still there. And the other resource persons were asked, all the colleges of education in the Ashanti region, and Bro Hafo had pitch camp at Brekum. And so I happened to be one of the speakers. After delivering my lecture on leadership, most of the participants coming to take pictures with you, selfie, and then give it. I recall this young lady called Leah, a half Ghanaian, half Nigerian, coming to tell me, "Sir, you are doing exactly what you've been designed to do. You are a motivational speaker." I mean, for me, the feedback, that comes from young people right after every lecture, public lecture. We were at the Pantine Nursing and Midwife Training College. Pantine here. And interestingly, a 50-plus old man, I think he's part of the staff. I was invited for their matriculation as a keynote guest also. And he comes to say, after my shots, I did like 15 to 20 minutes shots It's powerful delivery. And said, from now onwards, you are my mentor. And I told my wife, hey, if a 50 plus
50
old,
plus,
and I'm in my early 40s, so if a 50 plus is saying is going to be his mentor, then the matters get big here. But of course, what I'm saying is that it fulfills, people validate what you are here to do.
What you're here to do, okay.
Okay, and that to me as a Christian add value. It can be credited for me as righteousness, okay? For fulfilling what the master has meant me to do instead of doing my own thing, Of course, you could have done things that will bring you quick money, in all that. But for me, I'm thinking that success is quite sensitive to what you are born to do and the extent of how fulfilled you are.
Okay. How fulfilled you are.
Yes.
All right. Interesting. That was an amazing analysis. Now you doing all these things. At what point did this start? That this is what I am going to, because you said that you are in quotes a disappointed lawyer and a journalist. That's what you want. That's what you wanted to do. But at what point did all these inspiring the youth, inspiring people, motivating them? At what point did this start?
That's a good one. So right from high school,
okay,
when I got admission at high school,
okay,
the senior housemaster was prevailing on me to go and read the science, the pure science, biology, etc. And for me, growing up from age 13, 14, 15, I had what I call a sense of self-awareness.
Okay.
So the answer, point one, is sense of self-awareness.
A sense of self-awareness. Okay.
Where an individual, an institution, a nation,
okay,
gets sensitive,
okay,
about its strengths, its competitiveness,
okay,
and vis-a-vis its shortcomings.
Okay.
So for me, the administrator thought that my BC then was quite enticing for the science class. In a soul searching and knowing, having the benefit of my weaknesses and strength, I knew that if I had followed his opinion, I would have messed up.
If you had followed his opinion,
yes, I would have.
You think you would have messed up?
Oh yes, I think.
But you were a brilliant student. I mean, if your grades were very intriguing, was excellent. Which school are we talking about?
Ghana Secondary School.
Okay, so okay.
So let me blow your mind.
Okay.
Again, I'm quoting another this is the second mentor I'm quoting. The first one is Bismarck Tudor.
Okay.
I draw a lot of inspiration from him.
Okay.
The second mentor, and this is not in order of but the second is the Dr. Mark Meadock.
Okay.
An American tele
evangelist.
Yes, evangelist.
Okay.
He says that you would only have love. You only have love to something you have passion of, or you have passion over.
You only have love over something you are passionate over. Okay.
Yeah. And it's true. When this quote comes, I don't just buy it on the surface value. I go into meditation. I analyze and see if it's weightier, if it's applicable, etc. Then I related and said, wow. Mm-hmm. I recall in basic school, the day the mathematics teacher doesn't come, it's a holiday. I guess I'm joy in my heart.
You're excited it doesn't come.
Because some of them, the formulas were still not adding up. It didn't make sense to me.
Why X had to be found.
Why those variations
and all that, probability and all that, how you have to draw the bar chart and pie graph and all that.
It was so confusing. But then, believe me, English language, the literature side, social studies, governments, these were my triggers.
You loved.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. So when did this start? It started as early as, I became aware of myself that whatever be the case, whatever I would do on earth will have to do with influencing people development and ultimately public policy. So right after high school, I was a non-professional teacher
Okay.
in the eastern part of Ghana.
Okay.
I did that for like stretch of like 6 years,
Okay.
where all my friends had then even completed their first degree.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and I was still a people teacher, and then also combining rural missions. I have this apostolic thing also there.
Okay.
Kind of
For ministry and all that.
yeah, for ministry and all that. We did pretty well with both organizations. The apostolic one was non-denominational.
Okay.
And it was like, people come for prayer, people come for revival, that kind of
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. And then the 205, I formalized my organization by inaugurating it, having the registrar general, those days it used to call registrar general department.
Okay.
So giving us the certificate to commence business.
To commence business and all
then
that.
certificate of incorporation. This was June 205.
205, okay.
And that means literally that exactly this year we are 18 years in terms of when the institution was formalized.
Okay.
Okay. And so we had a public lecture. We called it at the time Destiny Summit, where we had a top professor, management top professor, Ghanaian but based in the States, coming to serve as a keynote speaker.
Okay.
And at that time, mind you, I was a people teacher.
Okay.
The leadership composition of my organization at the time, I was the one with the lowest kind of education.
Okay.
But I was a vision bearer.
You were the lowest.
The lowest.
SHS.
SHS and then teaching.
Okay.
And I had the founding members.
Members,
you
okay.
know, some were in tertiary, some had completed training college. At that time, it was called training college, not College of Education.
Okay.
Some had completed training college,
Okay.
taught, and has gone back to do a degree. So I was leading an army of elites.
You didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, they knew about that. it was not a secret at all.
Oh, not a secret
They knew
about-
that. But
okay.
I think it's also probably lent credence to my natural gift to lead.
To lead, okay.
Yes, one of the gentlemen currently serves in the Ministry of Trade and Industry. He's the communication lead and communication consultant
For the trade and
for the
industry.
trade and industry.
Okay.
And his
Ministry.
picture is right here. So he was part
Okay.
of the the genesis of the organization.
Organization.
So I got kickstart right after SS.
SS.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how and like I said, I knew that whatever career that I would choose has to do with people improvement
People improvement.
and system improvement.
All
you
right.
know. Yes.
So that was what the vision was about. People improvement.
So for
Okay.
instance, when I was in basic school, I used to read a lot.
Okay.
As far back as age 13, I was buying Daily Graphic.
Age 13.
Oh yes.
Okay.
When my friends would use the money their parents had given to them to buy Achomo, we used to have Achomo. Pop Key, those days we have Pop Key.
Asana and all
Asana
that.
and all
Okay.
that.
Ice cream care.
Ice cream care and
I
all
used to
that.
drink ice cream care.
I would save and buy newspaper.
Okay.
That's the level of exposure.
So you were reading
I was reading
Daily Graphic.
Daily Graphic, Chronicle, and interestingly,
Wow.
I've kept some of them.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was buying Chronicle, the Free Press at the time. Chronicle was written by Kofi Kumsin. At the time, I was also on the electronic media. I used to watch Kuku 101.
Oh, Kweku 101. That
Yes.
show was a good show.
Oh yeah, front page, public concern, the talking points,
Okay.
etc. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You used to watch Talking
Oh
Points.
yes.
At that time.
At that time.
We were
And
waiting for them to close so that we can watch.
my goodness. So no wonder in 2011, I had the privilege to be on Talking Points.
Wow.
Yes, and I was like, wow, it's something that
I
I
used
have
to-
been- Today here I am.
Here you are.
If I didn't like it, I presume people would not have watched me. Yes, so the spark was there. I saw, but growing from a rural part of Ghana, I'm from the Abuakwa area, to be specific, at Chembe Grow. and then came to Akimoda, where my mom was a practicing nurse. So I schooled in Oda and then came back to Koforidua for high school. So you realize that all my life, had it not been tertiary, I had done almost all of them in Eastern region. And I used to travel from these eastern parts to come to Accra just for public lectures.
Public lectures?
Yes. One of them was 201, and the guest was Professor Stephen Adai.
Oh, okay. Formerly of Gimpa.
Yes, exactly. At that time, he was still the rector.
Rector.
Reverend Bishop Jimsa.
Okay.
Dr. Joyce Ayi. So
Sultan
these
like.
big names, yeah. And I was like, one day when I grew up, I want to be a public influencer. So
That's what you used to.
A dream, So I pick a car all the way from Oda, get to Accra, go to Gimpa, pay money and listen. So when I was having this exposure, I thought that, can I pull people along? Because I go and enjoy. But how many people would, So that was what gave birth to my organization, that, okay, let me create a vehicle. And let the vehicle, serve as a catalyst for young people from rural part of Ghana who are not urban based. Because the people in Tema, Greater Kumasi, now the president says Greater Kumasi.
Greater Kumasi.
Greater Kumasi, Greater Accra. Some of these programs, even when they are heads of states visiting, they come to Accra, go to Kumasi, Mansia, and then
that's it.
That's it. Sometimes they add Cape Coast because Cape Coast being
the tourist side.
Exactly, its relevance in terms of the
slave trade and all that.
Exactly, Then so some people have said that Ghana is Accra and Kumasi, the rest are. So I try to set up this organization so that these mentors, Professor Dai, Mama Joyce, these icons in society would descend down. Okay, through the platforms we're creating for the rural youth also to have a taste of them. Because I saw that there are many information, I call them life essential skills. Confidence building.
Confidence building.
Example. I'm just giving one example.
Yeah.
How many schools are deliberate and they teach people on confidence building, money making, money multiplying? These soft skills, people skills. Have seen front desk executives of ministers of state of this republic with poor attitude when you even want to assess a friend who has become a minister. The way they treat you, the way they handle people.
Okay.
So that tells me that there's a huge deficit in the type of education the average African is being exposed to. So you need development actors like Pali, who are not concentrating on the theory, the book knowledge.
A plus B, 1, 2, and all that.
And interesting, some of the things we were taught, we've never met it.
We've never met it.
After practice, even after 23 to 25 years of practicing, you don't even say it's relevant. But in a daily basis, you are transacting business. You need negotiation skills. You need communication skills. You need data skills. You need people skills. And these things are conspicuously missing in our curriculum. Okay. Yeah. So we took it upon ourselves that let's create this vehicle. I made an example of when I went to Guinness.
Okay.
And the dilemma.
Yeah. They wanted you to do science.
Yes. And the evidence was, like, apart from my grades being fantastic, the general's class were filled up. So everyone was full. Everyone was full.
Especially the women.
We used to have general as one, general as two, general as three. So
anyway, with options.
Yes.
Okay.
With options. So the justification for me, and the science class was, but why am I bringing this in again? My big sister, she went to dance school. She was not allowed to do what her inner strength speak to. The first lady of Pali is also a victim. By her natural inclination, she should have done home economics or visual arts.
Okay.
Okay.
She's a very creative person.
Yes, very creative person, quickly, and she will fix it. Okay. Sometimes, if, even me being the man,
There's some things you.
yes, but she can do it.
She can do it,
for me,
okay.
But that is a trigger, But how many people observe it and build a career around it? Okay. So what we're doing was that, okay, even the career guidance and counseling units, they are not robust enough. These there are some schools, they don't have them at all.
They don't have them at all, exactly.
The schools they have, they are given, they have subjects, they are teaching subjects. They have their own subject teaching. And they have been given added responsibility to be guidance and career, guidance and counseling coordinators in the school.
When we come back from this break, we will get to talk about this. Whether it's the fault of parents, or it's the fault of the government structure, or it's the fault of the school system. We'll look at that and then we'll continue our conversation. Well, you're still watching Inspiration right here with me, Felix Akodazi. I want you to head straight to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on television, it is INSPAIRATION, and then you are with Felix Dazi. We're still here with the author Kumi, and we are having an exciting time right here. I trust your mindset is being revolutionized. I should say that again, revolutionized, because I didn't drink tea and coffee today, so revolutionized. And I trust that your mindset is being changed, and you are getting yourself for greater things. Well, after this break, we'll still be talking right here on Inspiration. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back. Welcome back. I trust you're having an amazing time. Well, we are still here, and we are talking to author Kumi, and he is enlightening us on some of the things that will cause a mental shift. Well, you spoke about career stuff, career choice, and you gave examples of people who have, I won't say suffered, or people who have become victims of that. Yeah. Do you think it's the fault of the parents or the school or the government? You spoke about career counseling too.
Well,
and counseling team, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
Yes. Personal awareness.
Personal awareness, okay.
Okay. But the question is, how many people take it upon themselves or are deliberate to do inner searching? Okay. Because the capabilities you have, the capabilities I have may not be the same. Okay. And again, my mentor says that your significance and my significance lies in our differences.
Our significance lies in our differences.
Absolutely. The things that you, Phyllis, can do, I may not be able to do. So I will need you. The things I can do, you may not be able to, so you will need me. But how many people ever crosses the bridge of self-awareness? So that is number one. You need every of the 8 billion people on the earth needs a certain level of self-awareness. Because then on what basis are you making life choices? If you don't know you. Number two, the parental role. Some parents insist that their kids or their wards toe a certain path or paradigm. I know homes that they will say that we need to have a doctor here. Either the parents were medical doctors or something, they insist.
Okay.
Then some homes we need to, you need to go and read law.
Law, okay.
But if you do that, you are doing a disservice to your ward or your teenager or your kid or your young adult child or whatever. The reason why you are doing it is that naturally, this your ward came on earth with some abilities. Okay. So Again, my mentor says you don't decide your mission or your assignment or your purpose, but you discover it. And there are yardsticks, there are benchmarks, there are checklists that helps you to discover who you are. Okay, you don't decide because there's a creator who created you, and before he was creating you, he has you in mind. Okay, so let me give a practical example. Some men likes fair women. Okay, they are attracted.
They are attracted to them.
Some women says they don't like short men. The inclination,
Okay.
the spark, what spark desire, what spark, this are inbuilt. I have a friend, I won't mention the name. I mean, he used to chase a certain lady, and the lady said, I just want you as a brother.
I want you to be my brother.
Yes, there's no chemistry to be your soulmate. Okay. And justifiable so because inbuilt in her are some attributes she's looking for. So if you are not in the picture, forget it. So it comes also when you looking at your life purpose and your career choices and your vocational apprenticeship options. So the first level is that every child needs to have a considerable knowledge about self.
Okay.
Then number two, parents must facilitate. They are not to impose.
They are supposed to facilitate.
Yes.
Not impose.
Not to impose career choices on their kids. Okay. This young lady called Erica Tando, DJ Switch.
Oh, DJ Switch.
By courtesy, and I featured her in a portion of my book, The Strong City Effect.
Okay.
By courtesy of TV3, if that platform had not come or was not set in motion, probably this young girl or teenager now would have been wallowing, okay, through the formal structured education system. But her influence, her rising narrative, her level of exposure now, came as a result of what? Natural talent. Because she's now doing her high school education in the state. Okay. But where she has the platforms, she has reached.
She has been on.
Yes, there are some professors,
Wow.
they would never in their lifetime get to meet people like His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, Melinda Gates, I mean, these global icons. But this young lady did it by courtesy of her natural talent.
Okay.
What if the parents had insisted that we will not allow you to explore your talent?
You have to finish school.
You have to finish school. Now she has a foundation donating furniture to her former school.
Wow.
Even at that age. Oh, yeah. And I'm not ashamed to say that sometimes I follow her to as a case study. Even though, I mean, look at the age difference, wide. But some of the platforms she's been, I've not been there. You get it? But I need to interrogate to see what has brought her there. And it's talent. So I have, and I will make this, I stated this in a local FM station and I came on that, and I will repeat it. It's controversial, but I will say it. I think in my considered view, that scholarly mission is not for everybody. Not
Scholarly
everybody.
mission is not for everybody.
No. The world system cannot impose formal education on the 8 billion people on earth. It's those who have calling to be scholars, academia, let them do so. They shouldn't force and impose everybody
That everybody must go to
I mean,
have formal education and all that.
you know, some people would come to limelight by courtesy of their natural abilities, provided they discover it, provided they nurture it, provided they deploy it, provided they monetize it. If they do this, I mean, you check the richest people globally, and check the richest
Just
people
people.
locally, and tell me,
Uh-huh.
it's now that people, they are trying, some of them, like, despite them, are trying to do some home learning, this guy is a camp on them, but the Reverend Darko, Kwabra Darko,
Kwabra Darko.
when I was growing up, this Darko farms, he had middle living certificates, and then Israeli government under Nkrumah time gave him scholarship to go and read diploma in poetry science in Israel. Esuma Banda, let Esuma. I mean, I'm talking to you about people who have had substance in this country. Because in 1992, when I was 12 years, I followed Reverend Darko closely. And one of the things I read was that he was published in a popular magazine in the States, Who is Who in World Poetry.
Okay.
Again, in the early mid-90s, Darko Farms used to supply over 50% of West African poultry needs.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Again, he was the only African in 92 who was hosted in the White House for a breakfast meeting with President Bush. Not the second Bush, but yes,
the father.
the father, I'm telling you. To the extent that as an individual, he was dealing with the World Bank. The World Bank deals with nations.
Nations.
By the level of his wealth and clout at the time.
At the time.
Yes, the World Bank were dealing with him. What am I saying? Elijah Asuma Banda of Antra Group. He says, limited by formal education. But, I mean, I don't know the state of Antra Group now, but we all know that in West Africa, they were the pioneers with domestic
Airlines.
He used not only, he had fleets of transportation by land, vessels by sea, and then by air. So when you talk about a trailblazer in transportation in Africa, you can't take away Elijah Asuma Banda's influence. But go and check his background. My own mentor, local mentor, Dr. Mensa Otabel, people think that he has a PhD. It's not an academic PhD. It's an honorary, Yes, exactly. And he did not have the benefit of portfolio of masters, PhD,
Masters in
PhD,
this, masters in that.
But he employs, ironically, people with PhD and professorship and chartered accountants. And the day he will close down Central University, people with chartered accountants, they'll go back. They'll go survive. So I'm not downplaying formal education. We are all getting letters. But it doesn't solve problems. So I'm saying that let people discover their enterprise. Because the same God who endowed nations with deposits of oil fields, bauxite, gold, etc., is the same God who has deposited individuals with potentials in them. Mas Moreau used to say that the richest place on the earth is not the gold fields mines, but the cemetery. And he justifies to say that in the cemetery are deposits of albums that were never sung, books that were never written. So what are we doing with individuals' potent ability, their potentials?
Individuals' potent abilities.
What are we doing with it? And we have a huge youth unemployment at our neck, as a nation and as a continent. And do you know that the Ghana tertiary enrollment ratio says that only 20% of the Ghanaian average youth gets to tertiary education. Only 20%. So bring GIJ, bring the theater in NAFTIN, it's now a
NAFTIN,
university also. Bring all of them, bring the technical universities, the traditional universities combined together. We are doing 20% tertiary enrollment ratio, meaning that 80% of the average Ghanaian youth never proceed higher after high school. Out of the 20%, is what we are seeing, this unprecedented level of youth unemployment, to the extent that we have a formalized organization calling themselves Youth Unemployment Association of Ghana. My argument is this: what if the gross tertiary enrollment ratio jumped to 50%?
Okay.
You are doing 20% and you have a profound level of unemployment graduates. So when you do 30, 40, 50, what will happen to the graduates who have turnout? And how many companies are we opening? Because if you check all the courses we are running, all the universities do marketing, HR, accounting, this, that. We are not setting up industries. What are they going to market? You see our trouble. But everybody has gifts. If Shatawale had not discovered that he can sing, if Asamoah has not discovered that he can play ball, and they were all adding themselves to the unemployment data. Yes. Me, when I completed university, I said I'm not going to be part of Ghanaian statistics. I won't be data. I won't be part of data, the unemployment unit. Yes, so let me look at my inward strengths. And I saw that it's about people development. I saw that it's about public policy and system improvement. So let me set up a social enterprise and drive it.
Wow. And you set up that
to fulfill my purpose.
Okay.
And draw a sense of fulfillment.
All right.
Fulfill my purpose and draw a sense of fulfillment.
All right. Now, you've spoken a lot on purpose and all that, and I'm sure someone who is watching us will receive a lot of knowledge and know what to do. But before we get to talk about your book, and you have an upcoming program that will be taking place this month of September. But first of all, let me ask you, you spoke about how you can discover your purpose, how you can live your purpose, make a job out of it, create work out of it, and how to earn from your purpose. How do you transition this from discovering your purpose to earning from your purpose? Because a lot of people have talent, but how to transition the talent or how to transform their talent into a money-making venture is the problem. Sometimes they get to be discouraged. Oh, you want to dance? You have the ability to do that. There's no money in it. Oh, you want to act? Oh, the actors now, they are not producing film. You want to do hair? Oh, that is below your level. You can't even make a lot of money. The people that you look out to, you can't. How do you transition from that? Because a lot of people, most of these people who are unemployed, they have talent. But how to bring, because there are needs that they have to fulfill. There are things, bills that have to be paid. How do you go about it? As you finishing university, you said you are not going to be part of data. You are not going to be part of people who are going to, I'm sure you tell yourself you're not going to look for them. You are going to create a job and give others jobs and also inspire other people. For the one watching us, unemployed, has a purpose in life, but that purpose is not manifesting into how to make income now. What does that person have to do?
Right, so thank you, Phyllis. So there's a value chain.
Okay, a value chain.
Yes.
Okay.
And you you alluded to it.
Okay.
So the layer number one is to be convinced that this is what I'm capable of doing. You know, so that is where the discovery comes. If you discover, layer number two is how do you add value?
How do you add value?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, for instance, our church, I fellowship with Cedar Mountain.
Oh, okay.
Assemblies of God.
Okay.
Yes. Last year we have this program we call I Testify.
Okay.
And last year through the leadership of the church, brought Nathaniel
Bassi.
Yes, I hear he's coming again. You know what he did? Normally, it's prophets. When prophets are coming, the place will be jammed up. This is the first time, even in our new place. There's a big, huge edifice at the Shashi area. This is the first time I've seen a figure pulling people. The whole place is congested, chaotic. People have to watch TV, leaving your home to come to the church premises and also watch TV. Because you can't get access to the main auditorium. What is the trigger? The value of Nathaniel Bassi in the industry. It's a heavyweight. If it was boxing, maybe heavyweight champion or something.
The value.
The value, So if you have talent and you have not added on value,
Okay.
it's just like this republic called Ghana, where you have deposits of gold, manganese. I am even told
Everything.
There's even a discovery of what is the name? There's a recent discovery of a new mineral or so.
Wow.
Now, our refusal to have added value is not making us valuable in the marketplace. Okay. So, in the same way, if you are an individual and you have talents and you've not nurtured it, so if you discover you got to nurture, the reason why I will have some platforms, because I told you I was looking to Professor Dai.
Okay.
This was 201. Then 2017, I find myself on the same platform with them, on the same speaking bill.
Bear with them.
When I finished at the Church of Pentecost Political Chamber, when I finished my delivery,
Your delivery.
the second speaker who was coming was my mentor, Professor Dai. And we all had 1 hour. It's not that I've gotten to his level. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I used to look
Up to
them,
him.
yes, for inspiration.
But now?
Then years after, I find myself on the same platform, inspiring the younger ones. It's value.
How do you add value? What do you mean by adding value?
Thank you. So, when you know where your competitive strength is, and that is why the book, The Strong City Effect.
Yeah, that's the book. I think we should show it to the camera if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The Strong City Effect. All right. Strong City Effect.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, when you spot your competitive edge, in other words, when you are able to locate your strong city, for instance, Bill Gates is Bill Gates because of software stuff. If you remove software engineering and Windows and other from Bill Gates, chances are that you would, you would disable him.
Yeah.
So that is his strong city, or his competitive advantage or edge. So if you are listening and watching, if you know that music is your strong city or your competitive edge, then you need to empower yourself. You don't do self-education, self-empowerment when you have not defined your purpose, when you have not defined your strong city. What are you empowering yourself of?
Okay.
So when I discovered that in all the things that I'm doing, leadership and youth engagements were my strengths, then I have to avail myself by reading extensively around the subject.
Okay.
So it's like practical things. So as you see, I have a small library,
Okay.
kind of, and so you have to procure books that addresses where you think your edge is, your competitive edge is, you have to have mentors in the field. There are levels of mentorship. We have upward mentors, we have lateral mentors, and then we have downward mentors,
Okay.
So I've made, at least for this interview, I've made mention of Mensa Otabel, Dr.
Otabel.
Mensa Otabel, Professor Stephen Adai,
Mike Mulder.
Mark Meadow, Bishop Bismarck Tudor.
Tudor.
Yes. So Dr. Mark Meadow said your role model or your mentor is a photograph of your future. In other words, it's a projection of who you will become.
Okay.
So anybody watching who is not convinced about his life purpose needs help.
Okay.
Number two, anybody watching who has discovered his talent or has not nurtured it needs coaching
Okay.
on how to do it. Number three, if you have added value to it, you need knowledge based on how to monetize it. So these are the loopholes.
Okay.
We could have three categories of people. First category is that they've not discovered at all.
That's all. Okay.
Their prescription will be different from those who have discovered but have not acted
Acted. Okay.
or has not, done
Anything
sufficient.
about
Thank
it.
you.
Okay.
Their prescription will be different.
Okay.
Those who are adding, but they don't know what to do next. They don't know how to monetize it.
Okay.
They will also fall within the third category. Okay. So every category would determine the prescription. It's like going to the consulting room where doctors are diagnosing. The diagnosing process will determine the prescription. Sometimes they will say, go to the lab and investigate ABC.
ABCD. Okay.
Bring me the findings. So that is where organizations like the Pali Reshape Incorporated exist, because we have specialized in procuring youth empowerment and engagements. Okay, we have specialized in giving leadership solutions to churches, youth bodies, student organizations, etc. That's what we have decided to specialize in. Okay, so this is what I can say for the layers, the various,
Okay.
exactly for now.
All right. A lot to talk about because of television time. This is where we have to wrap up. But the book is available, The Strong City. The Strong City Effect, right? Do we still have copies and all that for those who want to get
Yes,
them?
I think those who want to have a copy can hook up with your production team.
Okay.
And then we can take it from there.
All right, sir.
The event is happening on the
event,
September 21st.
Okay.
We call it intergenerational dialogue,
Okay.
where the younger generation gets to hear stories from the older generation. And we believe that there's a collection of value, collection of heritage, which must not be lost by one generation, but must be passed on from generation to generation. Rather than that, Africa will lose its identity to the West. So on the 21st September is a public holiday. If you are watching and you need a productive engagement, you need a place that will add value, you need a place that you can strike acquaintances, build strategic networking, increase your inner circle of individuals. The best place to be would be the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwife Association's hall, just close to the National Identification Authority building at Shasri. And you don't need to pay a dime. Just walk in and your life would be impacted.
All right. So it's happening 21st. It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
It's a
public, statutory public holiday.
Okay. So everybody is invited. What's the time?
Yes, so by 8:30 we'll start registration.
Okay.
And,
All right. So everyone is invited,
Everyone is invited.
for this epoch-making meeting. And are there some speakers on board? You are speaking.
Yes, I'm speaking for sure. COP Mameya Tiwa Dankwa, former Director General for CID,
Okay.
and now Executive Director for Iroko.
Okay.
You know, so she's coming in her capacity as a public service leader.
Okay.
You know, I am speaking in my capacity as a civic innovator leader.
Okay.
And then we have the corporate side. We have Mr. Bernard Joe Apia, who is also an astute, you know, accomplished trainer and management consultant. Is Pent tax consultant, so it's a top management consultant. We have other speakers yet to confirm. So my mentor, Prof. Adai, Professor Adai, you know, we are yet Van Veka,
Okay.
Senor Jose, but they are yet to confirm. But the three names that myself, Joe Apia, Uncle Joe Apia, and he's my senior, so he's and then COP Mamiya Tiwanankwa, they have confirmed.
Okay. It's a packed day, packed speaker.
Very, very packed.
All right. So invite everyone.
That's right.
All right. What's your final words to the youth who are watching us?
Well, so young people, what I would say is that it is not an error to be ambitious or to desire. Desire is the birth of everything you want to do on the earth if you don't desire. However, don't only desire, don't only aspire. Search for templates. Success is built on templates. If you want to eliminate my path, engage me to find out what template did I use to get here. We are often caught by glamour, the outward success. But the outward success is born out of years of study, years of engaging, years of nothing happening, years of tears, pain, etc. So that is what I would tell every young person, that if you want to become like Van Veka, there's a template for his rising to become Van Veka or John Dumelo or whoever, or even the Zanito Rollins, etc. But don't just admire and be caught by the inspiration. Go behind the inspiration. That's what we call it unpack. Unpack their life trajectory. And that will give you, for instance, Reggie Manuel Estate. You want to be in the estate industry, get to know how Reggie Manuel started. Some of them, my brother, started as a block laying factory.
Wow.
Yes. But some of the young people I interface with, I call this generation the fast track.
Fast track, okay.
They just want all of a sudden to have Reggie Manuel Estate group of companies spring up. It doesn't happen that way. Life is process. Life is preparation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And your number for those who want to reach you and join.
All right. Yes. All right. So thank you for the opportunity. I have a WhatsApp number that is reachable. So it's 0243 870366. Again, 0243 870366. Our doors are open. We do coaching. We do training. If you're a youth organization, church organization, do not hesitate. Connect, and our life's trajectory would never be the same.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
It's equally humbling having you come to the Palace Space.
All right.
And thank you for your production team as well.
You're welcome.
We hope to engage more.
All right, sure. The next time we'll be talking some of the initiatives that Palace has done. And I trust that will be inspiring to you. I trust that I've done my best. You have also the responsibility to take these informations that have been granted you. You work with them and ensure that you get to the highest height of life. My name is Felix Dazi. Don't forget, your mind is the most powerful tool God has given you. Make sure you don't waste it. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, or I'll see you for the repeat of this program, and I'll see you next week. We'll have an amazing time. Till then, God bless you. Bye-bye.